Hey beautiful souls, welcome back to the channel. If you're watching this today, there's a good chance you've been through something really painful that you may still be trying to wrap your head around. Maybe you're in a toxic relationship, or you managed to escape a toxic relationship. Maybe you've been gaslit, manipulated, lied to, or made to feel that like you were never enough. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Annemarie. I'm a holistic life coach, a hypnotherapist and spiritual guide. I help people, in particular women, heal and reclaim their power from narcissistic and toxic relationships. So I want to start with something that you really need to hear if you're in this space, and that is that you are more than how they chose to treat you. You are worthy, lovable, and powerful, regardless of what they did. So today we're talking about loving yourself unapologetically, especially after surviving a narcissistic or toxic relationship. This is more than just self-care. This is about reclaiming your life. Toxic relationships, especially when you're dealing with people with narcissistic tendencies, leave really deep wounds. Not just emotional pain, but deep identity confusion. They chip away at your confidence, your sense of self, your sense of reality, and often even your ability to trust yourself again. You were made to feel, or you were made to believe, that your feelings were too much, that your needs were a burden, and that your voice didn't matter. But here's the truth. That was never about you. That was about them. Okay? So you need to really get that. You need to really get that in your heart. It wasn't about you. It was always about them. And healing starts when you stop internalizing someone else's behavior as your worth. Okay? So let's acknowledge something really important. Loving yourself after abuse isn't easy. It doesn't come naturally when you've been conditioned to doubt yourself. But loving yourself unapologetically is not arrogance. It's actually a form of self-rescue. It's refusing to abandon yourself any further, the way others might have abandoned you, or the way you've abandoned yourself in the process of trying to make that relationship work. So how do you begin to truly love yourself, especially after you've been so hurt? It starts with tiny, tiny little baby steps. Okay, so start small, but keep taking those baby steps. Okay? When a baby's learning to walk, they have no fear of failing. They just have this innate knowing that they are loved and that they have a right. So we have to give ourselves that same kindness. Okay? Start with truth. I did the best I could with what I knew. Because you don't know. Narcissistic abuse is very, very subtle. You don't know until you're already lost a lot of your power. So remind yourself, I did the best I could with what I knew. It wasn't my fault that they chose to hurt me. Really get that right in your head. I am still worthy of love, especially from myself. Then create a space of safety within. Okay, whatever that looks like for you. Let your inner dialogue be your shelter, not another source of pain. So stop beating yourself up. Stop telling yourself lies that you weren't enough. Okay, I wasn't enough to keep this person in my life. I wasn't enough for this person to not hurt me. Right, we've got to get rid of that nonsense talk, because that's them in our heads, okay? Replace shame with compassion. Replace blame with curiosity. Replace silence with your voice. Okay, now in other videos I talk about being silent. That's different to the silence I'm talking about when we're silencing ourselves to keep the peace. When we're silencing ourselves to not cause any waves. When we're silencing ourselves because we don't feel we have a right to speak up. That's the silence we need to replace with our voice. Strong, steady, and unapologetically you. You know, outer confidence is noisy and loud, something to prove. Inner confidence is quiet and calm and humble, nothing to prove. Can you feel just in that energy alone? Can you feel? I hope you can feel the difference there. Something to think about anyway. Loving yourself means setting boundaries, even when it's uncomfortable. It means saying no without guilt. It means leaving the room, the relationship, the pattern, even when it's hard. Healing is messy, okay? There are setbacks. There are days when you question yourself or feel broken all over again. You may even miss them. At least the parts of them you thought were real. That doesn't mean that you failed. That means you're healing. You're learning to love someone who was once abandoned, and that someone is you. You're learning to hold space for your own heart, and that deserves celebration, not shame, okay? And so ask yourself, what would it look like? What would it feel like? What would it sound like to love myself unapologetically? Ask yourself that and sit with that and create a really strong image in your mind of how you imagine that to be. And then I want you to act that way. Act as if you're already like that. That's the old fake it till you make it, right? You imagine it and then you act like you're already there, even if you don't feel it. How would it look like? How would it sound? How would I sound? And then act that way, okay? Every single day. These are your baby steps, okay? Honor the sad days when they come. Honor the angry days when they come. Honor the uncertain days when they come. But each time when you're done, and you will be done, take a breath, dust yourself off, wipe the slate clean, and return to that powerful image of yourself, your center, your reference point. Make that a really clear reference point, because otherwise we're just floundering, right? We don't know what we're returning to. We don't know what we're moving towards. So having that reference point to come back again and again and again and again, no matter how many times I fall over, no matter how many times I have my sad days, I'm going to keep coming back to my reference point of how I imagine myself to love myself unapologetically. And simply just take another powerful action step towards that image, towards your unapologetic loving self. Okay, it's a really powerful practice, because you don't need to justify your healing. You don't need anyone's approval to love yourself quietly, respectfully, without apology. So there's beauty that comes out of this pain. There's power that comes out of this pain. So become your own alchemist and turn that pain into power. Okay? I know you can do it. I've done it. And if I can do it, I know you can do it. I believe in you. All right? You get to be whole again. Not because someone came and rescued you, but because you chose to return to yourself. And that's power. That's sacred. And that's real. Okay? So my message to you, if no one has told you this lately, you are a beautiful soul. You always were and you always will be. It's okay to love yourself unapologetically. It's okay to walk away from people who continue to hurt you, even if they were family, even if they were once your everything. Okay? It's painful, I know. It's okay to choose peace over chaos, because chaos has just become a habit and we don't know any differently. But once we step away from it and we start feeling that peace again, oh my gosh, we start realizing just how much we've stepped off our own path of self-love. And it makes you more determined to not let anyone else interfere with that again, because it's okay to outgrow who you used to be, just to become who you are always meant to be. You don't need to be perfect to be lovable. No one is perfect. You don't need to be fixed. You just need to be free. So set yourself free and spread your wings. Be courageous in your healing. Be gentle to yourself in your growth. Be unapologetic in your love for yourself. Because the most, radical thing you can do after a toxic relationship or abusive relationship is to fall in love with yourself again. You never were too much. You were just too real for someone who wasn't ready. And now you're ready for you. Be the sun behind the clouds, because it's always shining clearly. The sun is always shining bright, no matter how many clouds are in front of it. Don't let anyone dim your light again, and don't dim your own light ever again to not make others feel insecure. Let the clouds disperse and reveal your true beautiful self. Okay? And so if this message resonated with you, please share it with someone who may need to hear this today. And don't forget to subscribe for more healing, empowerment, and real talk. Hopefully you see this as real talk. This is me being as genuine as I can, as open as I can, and sharing whatever I can that's helped me move forward after a very, very painful breakup 14 months ago. So let me finish by, and remember to subscribe, if I didn't already just say that, and comment. I'd love to hear how you're going in your story, okay? So let me finish by saying this. Loving yourself isn't selfish. It's your right and it's your responsibility. That's just something for you to think about. Okay, until next time, I hope you got some benefit. And as always, lots and lots and lots of love from my heart to you. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.